Once a year, like the leaves, it comes. A magical night when bedtimes disappear and identities change.
Trick or treat!
When the ghouls and goblins of our souls are set free to roam the night and scarf candy. For the true believers, Halloween is the ultimate holiday. For me, it's the ultimate dork holiday. Halloween is for Halloweenies.
Ah! Gotcha! You blinked.
Wrong. Pete thinks I'm the weenie for not believing anymore. What happened to my Halloween spirit? Where did it go? And once it's gone, can it ever return? Pete and I were about to find out, and the answers would either save Halloween or destroy it forever.
Hey, smiling strange, you looking happily deranged. I can't settle in bed, or have you picked your target yet? It's ending. Don't your dog bite? It's ending.
What is it about Halloween that gets kids all wiggly? For some, it's eating enough candy corn to launch a lunar probe. But for my brother Pete, it's something much simpler. Immortality. Or, as it's known in Wellsville,
The record.
you see, 31 Halloweens ago, Greg and Judy Stilp trick-or-treated to 374 houses in one night. By midnight, they were legends.
Gods.
Like Apollo and Athena.
Who?
Apollo and Athena. They were brother and sister. Only Athena didn't have a mother, so she just sprang out of her father's head, ready to fight. I saw the picture.
The record has never been broken. Me and Pete always tried. But then he quit.
Athena never quit. I won't either.
The thing you have to realize is that to Pete,
Suction.
Halloween isn't a holiday. It's a holy day, and a gutted gourd is a token of thanks to the Halloween gods.
You are the chosen one.
But even the truest of the true believers need a little help now and then. And that's where crossing guard Frank Gulcher comes into the story.
Good day, citizens.
Hey, Frank. Nice wheels. Born to be wild, huh?
No, that's my surveillance assault vehicle.
You need that thing to guard the crosswalk?
Oh, no. I'm on special assignment, Chief. Halloween duty. I've been called to serve and protect Sector 17. Now listen up, you two. Tomorrow night, be sure to buddy up, because they're out there. Oh, they're out there, all right.
Pete knew exactly who they were. The Pumpkin Eaters. A pack of goons who turn Halloween into Halloween. No one knows their true identities, but every year they rip through Wellsville like a twister, pulverizing the Halloween spirit of everyone who still believes. They are the dark nights of Halloween.
Good buckets.
You got that right, Chief. The thing is, that if we don't stop the Pumpkin Eaters, this is, our last Halloween.
What?
Sorry, Chief. I know how much it means to you, but I don't make the rules. The word just came down. Oh, remember, Chief, today's Devil's Night. 24 hours to the big show. Be careful out there.
Last Halloween. Wow. How's Pete taking it?
Like someone punched his soul. Between you and me, I hope this is the last Halloween. I'm sick of it. Whoa. Check it out.
It's like a pumpkin graveyard.
Looks like this one got away. It used to bug me whenever I saw a smashed pumpkin. It just seemed so senseless. But that day, I finally understood. Maybe because I hated Halloween.
Smash it. Do it. No one's looking. Come on.
Pete Wrigley! You have tasted the dark side! And it tastes like chicken! Right, Mike? Do me a favor. Clam it!
Maybe, just maybe there's hope for you yet, Wrigley.
Hey, does anybody else's pumpkin head smell like tangerines?
Oh, yeah. I licked mine once. Don't go ruining your appetite, boys. 'Cause tonight, we're gonna have us a little weenie roast.
Not on my watch, dirtbags!
Ambush!
What makes someone do this? I don't understand.
I know it sounds crazy, but I couldn't help feeling like I was to blame for what happened. As if the Halloween gods had cursed Pete for the pumpkin I destroyed. And it didn't help that the next day,
I'm sorry, Gumdrop, but I'd have to be an idiot to let you go trick-or-treating.
Nona's pop pulled the plug on her Halloween plans.
Love hurts.
Pete, Mom told me about Nona. What are you gonna do?
Nothing. Can't break the record alone. Takes two people to haul a candy, remember? One more shot. It's all I wanted.
Maybe it was loyalty. Maybe it was stupidity. But to this day, I still can't believe what I did next. Pete, I'll go with you. You and me. Together. Remember?
Don't yank my chain.
I'm not. I'll go.
You will?
You what? Pete, you can't go trick-or-treating.
It's no big deal.
I know what this is about. So you smashed a pumpkin. Is that worth ruining your life?
I think you're being a little dramatic.
Dramatic. I'll give you dramatic. I got 2 words for you.
Ellen, don't.
Ned Richmond. Remember last year?
How could I forget? Last Halloween, this 15-year-old phoebe named Ned Richmond went trick-or-treating. And the pumpkin eaters caught him. He got roasted for everyone to see. Ned's life has never been the same. Now nobody will go near him. Not even in the yearbook. But I can run really fast.
Pete, please, don't do it. Once a Halloweenie, always a Halloweenie. You'll be scarred for life.
I gotta go get ready. According to my brother, the record is one of mankind's greatest feats, like landing on the moon. And if we broke the record, we'd be legends, just like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. the first two men to walk on the moon. For me, I was just relieved that the visor covered my face. Pete was relieved too, because he could actually relieve himself in his spacesuit.
Science. Ready, Commander Armstrong?
Ready, Buzz. So off we went into the unknown. Visions of Halloween glory surging through Pete's brain. Fear of being unmasked racing through my own. So it all came down to this one fateful Halloween. By midnight, all the questions would be answered. Would this be the last Halloween? Would Pete finally break the record? And would my Halloweenie secret remain a secret?
Commander, prepare for liftoff. Ready, set, go!
But as I soon discovered, I wouldn't have much time for worrying, because Pete devised a battle plan that rocketed us through suburbia.
Trick or treat! Trick or treat! You know the routine. Hustle.
By 8 o'clock, just 1 hour into our 374 house quest, we'd knocked off 115 houses, from Chug Hill all the way to Sahara Mike Avenue. We were unstoppable, and as my Halloween spirit returned, I could feel it. It was a night for heroes. And unfortunately, villains. Because Pete and I weren't the only ones trying to change the face of Halloween.
We got a wigged-out Blackbeard situation here. We got a 10-9er in a tree. Send backup, pronto. Oh, the humanity. You cannot do this to me. I'm a civil servant. It's a war zone out there. Go home. I can't protect you. Freeze, or your fertilizer.
With the Pumpkin Eater's reign of terror in full force, I convinced Pete that we had to take evasive action. I knew that if the Pumpkin Eaters caught me, Halloweenie Town. So armed with Pete's knowledge of every shortcut in Wellsville, we began serpentining suburbia. But somewhere around house 203, the Pumpkin Eaters tightened their stranglehold on Halloween. And suddenly, it looked like our night of glory would be squashed by fear. But the spirit of Halloween could not be crushed. Wellsville refused to surrender.
T-minus 131 houses and counting. How you doing, Buzz? Over.
A-okay, Commander. Over.
Energy supplement? Over. Let's move out!
As we closed in on the record, I guess I got a little overconfident. But with only 6 blocks to go, I figured, what could go wrong?
Ah! Hooray, men from space!
Ned Richmond.
Hey, you're Pete Wrigley. No, I'm not. I'm,
Neil Armstrong.
Oh, yeah, sure. Your secret's safe with me. Hey, maybe we could go together next year. Huh, Wriggles? Wriggles. He called me Wriggles.
Shake it up, Commander. Come on.
Pete, this is crazy. If they find me, I'll end up like Ned. Hey, maybe we could find someone else for you to team up with.
What?
We're the only Halloweenies left. We gotta get out of here.
No! No! Come on! You promised! We're almost there! Come on, we can make it, Commander!
No, we can't. Not alone. Not out there. It's over.
That's what you think! I don't need you!
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
I knew that I was being a spineless weasel. I knew that I was sucker punching Pete's dreams of glory. But I had to get home and lose the spacesuit. I just couldn't end up like Ned.
Going my way, Halloweenie!
Hey, Blowhole! Wherever you are, in 45 minutes, I'm gonna be famous. You know what you're gonna be? A blowhole!
Over here! He went this way! Get the weenie!
It was the last place a Halloween hater like me should have ended up. But it was the only place left to hide. Lame.
I hate this holiday.
Yeah, well, it hates you too.
Leave me alone. You hear me? You're the reason I'm in this whole mess.
Suit yourself. It's nice knowing you, traitor.
At that moment, I didn't care what happened to Halloween. All I cared about was me.
Tang, you're dead! Oh, Wrigley!
Trick or treat!
Well. It isn't the biggest Halloweenie of them all.
The last house. The final frontier. I'm one house away, jerkweed. I told you I didn't need you.
What do you want from me?
Nothing. Except your soul!
Come on! Let's hang them upside down from the goalpost!
Yeah.
What's going on?
Then we'll tie him to the roof rack and drive around town.
No. I've got something special planned for this one.
What are you gonna do to me?
Well, that depends on what you do for me.
Bite my scab! Why? Why now?
yesterday? We saw you, Ridley. You smashed a pumpkin. Oh, it was beautiful. And now here you are in this pathetic excuse of a haunted house, hating Halloween even more.
Just like you.
Exactly. Wrigley, we can destroy Halloween together, smash the pumpkin, and together we'll toast the death of Halloween!
And if I don't? 2 words. Ned Richmond. Do it. You know you want to. You felt it yesterday, and you feel it now.
I could feel it. At that moment, I had more power in my hands than I've ever had in my life. The power to crush the spirit of Halloween forever. But would I? Could I?
Do it. No one's looking.
Sorry to hear that.
Endless Mike?
What'd you expect, Carrot Head? Mr. Tasty? Fry this weenie!
Like I said, dirtbags, not on my watch.
Where are you going, you coward? I'll destroy you too! Oh, I will!
Trick or treat, gut bucket!
You know, Flamehead, in space, no one can hear you scream.
Commander, our work here is done.
In the end, Pete was right. It was a night for heroes. The next day, with the pumpkin eaters unmasked and in custody, the cleanup began.
You missed a spot. Stooge.
It was the last time their kind ever haunted our town. As for Pete, he didn't break the record, but that was okay.
Maybe next year.
Because he achieved greatness in another way that night. So did I. We helped save Halloween in Wellsville. Now, every year, when the leaves come, so does Halloween. Setting free the ghouls and goblins of our souls for one magical night. Especially for 2 brothers who will always believe.
They're playing in Central Park. And Church Halloweenie is shouting at the gate. Billy didn't tell you everything. Or did he mention the magic day? Well, I figured it out from a fig tree. It's the chosen fruit of the devil himself. And now you've been back for 50 years. And now it looks like that is taking off his bill. Waiting for October. I cross my fingers, cross my heart, and hope to die. Waiting for October. I'm in the book and I'll be learning how to fly. He's coming down, but he's not alone.
Hello? Oh, I was going to go for... Okay, this is Will McRobb, co-creator of Pete and Pete.
A magical night.
This is Chris Viscardi, the other co-creator of Pete and Pete.
This is Mike Morona. I played Big Pete.
And this is Daniel Tamborelli, and I play Little Pete.
And this is an episode beloved by all called Halloweenie, a Chris Viscardi episode. And it's, in my mind, the definitive Halloween episode.
A lot of nice inserts.
It's the ultimate fall episode, boy. I have to tell you, if you like fall. Chris, you live in L.A. now. You must look at this and just kind of, Jones. All leaves.
It is pretty spectacular.
All the time. What's great about Pete and Pete was we shot in the summer and we shot through like December, so you could hit all the good seasons. So we got a chance to do a Halloween episode during October in New Jersey. As you can see, it's about as Halloweeny-ish and fallish as you'd ever want to get.
Oh,
those beautiful mid-Atlantic states and their 4 lovely seasons.
Saving you the trouble of having snow trucked in.
That's right, like in Snow Day. This, I'm going to do my dissertation after we get through the credits. I have a few...
Do it now.
I have some themes I need to discuss with all of you about this episode.
Uh-oh.
Peter Lauer.
Uh-oh.
And his hang-ups.
That's Mark Mulcahy, everybody. So, Chris, do you want to talk at all about where this? Where did this come from?
Well, I think it's similar in some ways to the Nightcrawlers, which I wrote for the first season, which was about kids trying to stay up for 11 days and break a record. And this episode is also about breaking a record, obviously a much different record. Number of houses you can trick or treat on one evening, and it's a Wellsville, the town that the show took place in. It's a Wellsville record, so the brothers Pete set out to break that record. So I think, one of the things we always tried to do on the show was, particularly with Little Pete and his pals, put them on some sort of epic quest and all the mythology around that you see in a bunch of our episodes. So I think it was, the inspiration for the show was, A, to do another kind of episode like that with some quest in it. And secondly, Halloween was just always, obviously a favorite kid holiday of mine. And then, also explore the brother relationship as we did throughout the series, and just kind of as they're growing older and start to grow apart, and you look at different ways that you can kind of play with that theme. And what better way to hit that than like Halloween when the little brother still wants to do it and the big brother doesn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Dry vacuuming the pumpkin.
So Danny and Mike, did you guys partake in Halloween, or was Halloween just like too uncool from the start for you guys?
There's an evolution of Halloween for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you trying to say?
Jim
Lally?
This confused me making this episode at 12 years old.
Because we didn't even do it during Halloween.
Cool, what wasn't. Thanks a lot, guys.
That's right. We'd screwed you up?
Yeah.
Danny, do you think that Pete and Pete screwed you up at all, or did it help you as you've grown up?
No,
a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Definitely.
Mike, same with you?
I think I answer for the brothers when I say
some good things happen, some not so good things happen.
Just the way it should be.
I met Jim Lally.
The great Jim Lally.
Man.
Yeah. Crossing guard Frank Gulcher.
We did a lot of white gloves in those days.
That's right. Ooh, the bad guys.
Man,
of the show,
did everybody in South Orange hate us after this episode, didn't they? We were shining lights in people's houses at 1 a.m. and don't sue me. I had nothing to do with it.
Chris, here we go with the our arch villains.
So I think we'd have to give a lot of credit to this episode, the success of the episode, to Peter Lauer, who is the director, and Peter had directed a number of episodes for us over the years. In the first season, he directed Tool and Die and King of the Road, and this season he did. This one was his real kind of masterpiece, and he just brought so much more to it. He just made it much more ominous and scary, and even thoughtful in a lot of ways that were not even on the page. So we give Peter a lot of credit for that.
Big ups.
Yeah.
Well, that was the beauty of the Pete and Pete system, if I may call it a system, which is different directors on different shows, and each director had their own thing. And Peter wanted to make cinematic masterpieces. And if you look at Tool and Die, which was from the first season, or you look at this show, this is a guy who wants to make something that is really ambitious. And you can, if you keep watching this, you'll just see things that you don't typically see in a half-hour show.
Yeah, I mean, when people talk about Pete and Pete as a series, they often talk about what Will said, how cinematic it was. And I think part of the reason for that is that we let those directors do their thing, and Lauer really epitomized that in a great way. And I think what it also did was gave the show, in a good way, an inconsistent look. Like there was no formula that people had to follow, so directors could really bring their own style to it and themselves to it in wonderful ways. And so much, like this touch right here with the multiple exposures is such a great Lauer touch. That again was not in the script, but he brought to it, and just really made the episode way better than probably should have been.
Yeah, well, a guy like Lauer, he would look at the script and he'd say, "You know what this is about?" We'd be like, "Yeah, it's about Halloween." He goes, "No, it's about paganism." We'd be like, "Yeah, whatever, go for it," because he found because there is, if you think about it, there is this sort of tribal quality to Halloween. The traditions of it. The sort of like the flames and the end of a season. There's all this kinds of like folklore to it, and Peter really responded to that. And then there's also Rick Gomez with a pumpkin on his head.
Rick Gomez, yeah. Rick Gomez, the great Endless Mike. And also there's, I loved Halloween when I was a kid, but that was definitely an age like Big Pete in this episode when I did smash a pumpkin or two. And yeah, I know. And there is like a sick thrill that you have in doing it, and you can only, feel that once you get to a certain age when you're not into trick-or-treating anymore. And I think Peter Lauer did a great job of really bringing that quality out that older kids have. Like, there is something kind of weirdly exciting about destroying a pumpkin.
No, it's true, Chris. There's like this nihilism that you first are exposed to when you destroy your first pumpkin. Suddenly you're like, you lose your innocence,
Yeah, exactly.
Staple it together.
Which side of the line was I on?
But I couldn't help feeling like I was to blame for what happened. As if the Halloween gods had cursed.
Well, you know what this episode does? We do a lot of episodes where Big Pete is kind of tempted by... well, we got to stop for Iggy Pop.
I'd have to be an idiot to let you go trick-or-treating.
Nona's Pop pulled the plug on her.
Oh, how clever was it? How clever was it to have him name one of his records in that line?
This is the first of many episodes of Pete and Pete that Iggy Pop appeared in. And we didn't know if we were ever going to get him back, so we definitely did
really
jack in a lot of a lot of Stooges references in there.
Hey, he calls one of them at the end.
Stooge.
Right? Yeah, Stooge.
Stooge.
Well, Dan, you're in a band now. You obviously are a lot more. I mean, when you were a kid, you were just getting into this stuff. When did you first get exposed to the Iggy Pop,
from
musical canon?
From I don't know, everybody on the set, pretty much. I mean, from
they were so
and
into
Will
they were
and
so into it that
and everybody. I mean, I remember you used to make me mixtapes all the time.
That's right.
I can remember being like 8 years old and bumping the My First Sony with R.E.M. Green going yeah.
I know, it's true. It was like you got a real education that way.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I absolutely did. That's what made me really enjoy music, and doing Hard Day's Pete really got me
into music.
Really did get me into music, and that's what I've been doing my whole.
It's really good.
It is.
I mean, the performance and Sid and you guys duetting, and it's really nutty.
Yeah, it was really cool. I got to do lots of cool stuff. Jamming with Iggy Pop.
Oh, this guy, poor Lark. Lark. Yeah, I still see Lark at auditions, man. It's tough.
Do you really?
It's tough to forget about this incident.
I think we all knew a kid like this who just went one Halloween too far,
Yeah.
Not even in the
I was going to say before, we had a lot of episodes where Michael and Danny are kind of torn apart by, by puberty, basically.
4 years, yeah.
By puberty. But this is one where we sort of equate puberty with, evil, right? It's like, this is puberty.
This and New Year's Pete.
Right, right, because you're really turning to the dark side in this episode.
Stock footage.
It's cheaper than anything else.
Surf music and stock footage. What a combo.
Yeah, and moonshots. Continuing our obsession with the moon and space in Pete and Pete. We had to put
those
these
suits
guys.
Oh,
in.
and those
So
suits.
hot.
Oh, you remember those suits?
So hot.
Those
Was it
suits
really?
were great.
And they smelled like freshly sprayed gray.
Tamborelli, how many of these shots do you know took place with the back of you that wasn't you?
Yep.
How
so
many of them?
So many.
Let's see if we can count them.
I remember.
Peeing in the suit.
I remember we put this scene together. You know, the big gag is Little Pete gets to pee in his suit, and the standards and practices at Nickelodeon were like, okay, here's the trade-off. He can pee in his suit, but we cannot hear the sound of him peeing in his suit. So
that's good. It's a vacuum.
That's true. It's a vacuum. You can't hear sound.
Racing through my own. So it all came down to this one fateful Halloween. By midnight, all the questions would be answered. Would this be the last Halloween?
When you guys
So good.
watch yourself, I'll ask the
That one's not you.
I'll ask all the reunion
Yeah, I
type
don't
questions.
think that's me.
That's not you.
When you guys watch yourselves,
That is
I
not
would-
you.
Yeah, that was not my hand.
you guys are
gesture.
having fun, right? You're enjoying watching yourselves. This is good.
Well, we're in the same room. It's nice.
Did you guys ever watch the? Did you guys watch the show when it was on Nickelodeon back in the day?
I did.
I think eventually.
Hey, Mike, another question for you about growing up as Big Pete.
Go ahead.
Where did it get in the way? Where was it not helpful to you being Big Pete? Did it affect your cred at some place, some juncture in your life?
I didn't graduate from my first high school.
But that wasn't Pete and Pete related, was it?
Totally.
Was it really?
My senior year, they instructed my teachers to fail me. That was our swan song season.
Really? They wanted to fail you because they were disappointed that the show was being canceled? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, because I missed a lot of class.
Oh, I see. It's just the sheer not being there.
What? I'm
This is a
18.
pretty epic.
I don't gotta go to tutoring anymore.
Yeah.
Heck
This
with
is a pretty
that.
epic
That's true.
scene that. Like I say, this is a pretty epic scene. In
Oh,
so
I'm
much
one of
credit
the
goes to
people.
Lauer.
You're right. I'm one of the people
Throwing them?
egging Jim Lally off camera.
Nice.
This is so insubordinate. They do not care that this guy's like the law. You know what I mean? It's like a real riot going on here.
We just totally took over this neighborhood, and I think it was in Cranston, New Jersey, and just trashed it over the course of this evening, and somehow we got out alive.
How did he get out alive?
This show's a good example again of how Pete and Pete's tries to be like subversive but also incredibly square, because whatever you might think that makes the show subversive, this whole episode, like a lot of shows, is really about the status quo. Like, don't grow up, don't give up on being friends with your little brother, and never give up on Halloween. It's very kind of like about not changing, really, when you think about it. I mean, this whole episode's about like, hey, why worry about growing up? Just go to trick or treat forever. I think that's the message of the show.
We should all have that attitude.
I know.
That might be you. That could be you. Well, that's you.
No, that's me. The helmet's off.
Well, that was a thing because that helmet, you couldn't breathe.
It's terrible.
Wellsville refused to surrender.
GEC. That's my father.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
That's
Paul.
my dad.
That's Paul. That's right.
Looking good. Give him the thumbs up.
Give him the thumbs up.
You break
Paul
that
staying
record,
in the
my
doorway a
kitty,
little
son.
too long.
Yeah, Paul. He shared.
He
this-
was concerned. He wanted
That
him
was
to
his
hit his
15
mark.
minutes.
He wanted him to hit the mark.
His 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Yeah.
Lark was just dynamite.
Richmond.
Hey, you're Pete Wrigley.
I like how I think in general Pete and Pete's about like geek empowerment, but then with a guy like Ned, it's like not all geeks. Sometimes you can go too far. Nobody wants to empower that guy.
You could have drawn him a better mustache at least.
Called me Wriggles.
Come on.
Pete, this is crazy. If they find me, I'll end up like Ned. Hey, maybe we could find someone else for you to team up with.
Danny, I remember on the set a couple times you being hassled by like kids in the neighborhood. They seemed to be a little resentful that you were their age and you were like a TV star.
He was an obvious target
Remember
because of
that?
the
They were like-
checkered hat.
I remember like kids coming up to you going like, "How much do you make?" You know?
Yeah.
They were
Oh
like,
yeah. Everybody always did that. They definitely asked
I thought it
me
was
how
a
much I
Jersey
made.
thing. I thought you were used to it.
But at the same time, also, I had kids that would like bring me like metal posters. At the time,
Really?
I was like my dressing room was like Slayer,
Whatever
Primus,
works.
and,
Primus,
and
yeah,
everything.
definitely.
Yeah, on the first season DVD cover, I'm wearing a hat that says Primus clearly on the CD.
That's
I
right.
knew that I was being a spineless weasel. I knew that I was sucker punching Pete's dreams of glory. But I had to
Lauer just told me to keep running. I didn't know. I didn't know.
This was definitely one of those sequences where Peter Lauer brought way more to it than what was in the script.
Oh yeah,
This
with
is
the
a
bike
great
effects.
sequence with
Yeah.
yeah.
But this is also where we were talking about Charles Darby before he was the producer on these episodes. You know, there's stuff in here that just should not be possible with our budget and with our time constraints. But like here, you're going to see a bike go over a fence and into a pool. And I can just remember saying, Charlie, can we do that? I mean, it seems impossible. And he would just say, yeah, we'll do it. We can do it. And I think the only thing we lost
Not
out
me.
on, I think we didn't get to eat lunch that day, I think it was the only problem. But
You're right. I mean,
otherwise-
Charlie was definitely a hero of the show, as were for the show overall, but also this episode where Richard Rosser, he was our AD, John Yak was our production designer, and Mike Spiller was our cinematographer and his crew. They just did an amazing job. Or did John Inwood shoot this? I think John Inwood shot this.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
He did, actually. Yes, I'm correcting myself.
I
This was
remember
the
being in the
first episode that
basement.
John Inwood shot for us, yeah.
Blowhole!
Yeah, the haunted house is.
That was really
They did
great.
this up really well.
Actually, Mike, this is also reminiscent of the golfing episode where you were afraid of being exposed.
A lot of
as well.
physicality and a lot of
shows
embarrassment.
A lot of shows where you're afraid of being exposed as a weenie, in one way or another.
Pretty much. I hope this doesn't speak to the author's concerns as a youngster.
Oh, it's all made up. Nothing's real.
I think that's my buddy Carlo in the denim vest there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
One of them. Oh, and in the cutoff shirt.
Oh, this is funny too. Just misses him with the flashlight.
Good old Joe. He had a chance. There's Carlo.
We were just talking about Jim Rowley. Didn't he have? You told me he had a sandwich named after him. Is that right?
I think his favorite meal includes turkey and cornbread. That's all I've
So
heard.
that guy you're looking at right now has a sandwich named after him in New York. So if you didn't think he was great before,
wow.
What is it? It's cornbread, right? And chicken.
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
not a sandwich.
What is it?
You couldn't put those together.
What is it then?
It's soggy if it's a sandwich. What are you crazy?
Then what is it?
It's a plate.
Lame.
Oh, this haunted house was the best.
Yeah.
What's great about this episode, Chris, which I really admire about it, it just has so many old classic movie thrills to it. Like you really took the Pete and Pete formula, and then you added some just really classic stuff to it. Like where's the real boogeyman? Oh, that's just fake. It was like textbook.
The stars.
The fake stars, they twinkle so. The holes in the black paper.
Yeah.
Oh, I
remember
sure
this
didn't
episode
know.
because this was an incredibly involved episode, but because we shot so much of it at night, it was really rough to shoot. Obviously, a lot of the kids in it couldn't shoot too late at night, so a lot of the stuff we had to cheat. Shoot during the day, make it look like nighttime, and they pulled it off. They did an amazing job. Like this scene was definitely all shot during the day.
Well.
There it is again.
There you go. Well.
Halloweenie of them all.
What do you guys remember anything about?
It was extremely
Rick
hot in
Gomez?
the basement.
Were you guys fans of Gomez? Rick Gomez?
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I actually still see him every once in
Really?
a while.
I think
Rick Gomez is Endless Mike, as we mentioned earlier, and he's just another one of those actors that just brought so much to the role. We would just give him pretty standard lines at times, and just his delivery or a little ad lib that he would throw into it would just make it so much more original. He really made everything his. Just had great mannerisms too.
I was real scared.
That depends on what you do for me.
Bite my scab! Why? Why now?
A lot of choices in this episode. A lot
Yeah.
of difficult choices for the characters.
Here, hitch a ride with the Dorkmobile.
smashed the pumpkin. Oh, it was beautiful.
This is like the dark tasty. This is like the evil tasty, right?
Pretty much.
That's right.
Just like you.
Exactly. Wrigley, we can destroy Halloween together, smash the pumpkin, and together we'll toast the death of Halloween!
Ooh. Will he go to the dark side or will he not?
Is he gonna cut my hand off?
That's a great shot.
Oh, this music is in like every Ren and Stimpy ever.
If this were an R-rated movie, Michael would have like a big like knife in his hand right now. And there'd be some, somebody tied up beneath him.
I wanted to do it. I wanted to.
Forever. But would I? Could I?
Do it! No one's looking!
Sorry to hear that.
Michael, when you have big turning points in your life now as an adult, do you ever hear that music in your head?
I smash
a turkey sandwich.
I smash a pumpkin whenever I make a big decision.
No, we don't have a turkey sandwich. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like I said, dirtbags, not on my watch.
Where are you going, you coward?
It's one of those few Pete and Pete moments where we actually had real, like, physical confrontation.
Yeah, you're right. It was actually like, like right here, the famous headbutt.
Yeah.
Famous headbutt.
The best headbutt.
Yam!
And then,
Two
I think we were only able to do it
redheads.
because we put that, like, comic clank on when
Two
the
sweaty
headset.
redheads, indeed.
You know, Flamehead, in space, no one can hear you scream.
This has like 15 climaxes.
So
Chris.
so many pumpkin slams.
No.
There was enough of them.
But somehow it does.
Commander, a work here.
There's a website out there. There's a lot of Pete and Pete websites. There's one in particular which says that this episode is not only the best Pete and Pete episode, but the best show of all time. So, Chris, you got that going for you.
Oh, this is the Stooge line.
Custody. The cleanup began.
You missed a spot. Stooge.
So great to take Iggy Pop and put him in suburbia and put a cardigan and khakis on him and see what he would do.
Ah, poor Carlo getting a face full.
A very
He
ill-timed
deserves it, though.
joke.
He was bad. He deserved whatever he got.
But that was okay.
Maybe next year.
And this takes us back to the sort of the starting point for the entire series, which is two brothers separated by 4 years who are best friends. And once again, they found a way to
Pee in their spacesuits.
and patch things up at the same time.
Setting free the ghouls and goblins of our souls for one magical night. Especially for two brothers who will always believe.
I think that was you, actually.
There you go. Always believe. I think that's.
Yeah, see, I'm taller.
Yeah,
taller.
exactly.
The helmet's up a little bit higher.
John Enwood.
Yeah.
John Enwood, he did shoot that one.
This
Yeah,
is
all these people really made the show what it was.
Especially
Edie,
these
John,
Artie, Judy,
of course, Allison,
Jim
Linda
Lally.
Sapphire.
Jim Lally, who has a sandwich named after him. No, a plate. Sorry. Linda Sapphire. It's
Liz.
It's hard to remember. Andrew Sachs.
Andrew.
And
Hoops.
Eddie.
Thank you all.
Frank. Oh, jeez.
It goes by so fast.
Wow.
It does.
Jill Mendelson.
It was only 11 years ago.
Oh, boo.
Chug.
Oh, I feel old all of a sudden.
Mike Applestein.